We are now taking a closer look into who Ntombi Toni Khumalo really was. This is her on the far right. In the middle is her sister Nkosi Khumalo, the dark-skinned one wearing the skirt. And on the far left, this is Michelle Khumalo, another younger sister, the one on the far left. She's about to turn 39 and she has 2 children. And this is her brother, Huloni Khumalo. He is the youngest of them all. Now, this is the family structure. Ntombi Toni Khumalo was a trained lawyer in South Africa. However, reports show that she leaned more into fashion and creative pursuits. Around 2013, she was featured in a local South African newspaper. Her father died many years ago, leaving her mother to raise the 4 children alone. So despite the assumptions, Ntombi did not come from wealth. She came from a very modest background and had to build her life from the ground up. Before Samuel Jackson, she was in a relationship with Pastor Sonny Usoro, a Nigerian South African. According to him, the relationship was stable, but Ntombi desired a lifestyle beyond what he could provide. He further claims that she spoke about Samuel Jackson as a man of extreme wealth, properties across countries, private jets, and a powerful global connection. Not long after that, the relationship ended, and she went on to marry Samuel Jackson. This is what we know so far. But as more information comes in, the full picture may begin to look very different. Stay with us, guys.
Oh my God, this is so sad. Toni Ntombi Khumalo. She used to be my girlfriend in 2019. We had a beautiful relationship. Great personality, very creative. You know, she could design things. She was a lawyer, and we had an amazing relationship. Everything was going well, you know, but I think we started having challenges when she wanted more than I could offer. So she ended up being with a man whom she said was very rich, had private jets and all of that.
Hey guys, so this video is going to address the following points. Number 1, Samuel Jackson was not with his late wife Toni Khumalo Jackson when she died, but he made a post saying, "I just said my final goodbye," when he was not even there when she died. Number 2, few hours after her death, he referred to her as broke. Number 4, he claimed that he had accepted the loss of his wife in less than 1 hour. We're going to be analyzing these points in this video, but please watch this video first.
Your name and where you're joining us from?
Well, my name is Michael J. Tike, and I am the CEO of WBHO SC, one of South Africa's finest construction company. And we are here working in Liberia, and I have a very good working relationship with the South Africans. It beats my imagination that this thing happened to Toni, because just a few days ago, she and myself and another South African were at the Lovin Bakery having dinner. And she said to me, "Michael, when are you going back to South Africa? Because I have a penthouse." No one shut off the matter. She said, "I need to sell one to you when you get back to Centum so that you and myself can talk about it." She said, "Michael, I need millions." She was laughing, you know, very fun, loving person. So when the thing happened, I called Sam Jackson. I said, "What am I hearing in the news? Can you please come to my office?" Sam came to my office yesterday morning. And I said, "What's going on? What happened to Toni?" He said, "Oh, she had seizure. She fell on the bed, and then she went off. And I took her to the hospital, and she passed." So I said, "Okay, then what happened to what I'm hearing about the $1 million insurance you had on her?" He said to me, excuse my French, I will say as he said it. He said, "Look, Michael, that bitch had no money. That bitch was broke."
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be something on Facebook. Just use it as a B letter, please.
Yeah, they said that B was broke. That B had nothing. And in my office, I had Reverend Dr. Joshua Turner was sitting in my office, and we were cold. And he said to me, "Look, Michael, I'm done with this thing because the first 1 hour is when I really grieve, but I'm a Marine. I'm done with it. I don't regret anything." That was his exact words to you. But here's another one that Sam Jackson said, and most Liberians, I hope they caught that part. When he attacked a gentleman called Saliba, we don't know about, that he killed his father in 1985. He said during the war. The man confessed on Facebook that he killed somebody's father. And I hope people are listening. Sam Jackson, I just pray that the police carry out an investigation, but he's a cold monster and should not be in the street.
So
I'm sorry to say.
So thank you for calling, though. But again, don't you think that's the reason why investigation is ongoing before we come up to get to conclusion here?
Well, the gentleman was not remorseful. I know him very well. He comes to me every day. He was not remorseful. He was bragging. He was in my office and asking me, hey, my man, look, give me something for the weekend. And I said, look, your wife just died. And you're asking for a weekend? I was shocked. I was cold. And this guy, I don't know. But the fact that he confessed to killing another person, I think Sam Jackson is not innocent. And the law will prevail.
Now, I'm sure you guys have listened. The first fearful thing is, who calls their late wife? Excuse me. Your wife just passed on. And the only thing you can call her is I can only imagine what Toni Khumalo Jackson was going through in that marriage. You call your wife who just died. I'm not talking about your wife that died long ago. Your wife who just died. You call her Jesus. And then you refer to her as being broke. The question now is, did you marry her because of her money, only to discover that she did not have as much as you expected her to have? What is going on here? You call your wife who just passed hours ago a broke-ish. A broke-ish. Like, seriously? Who does that? Wow. And then he mentioned something shocking. He said, I done with the whole thing, man. I only was feeling bad during the first hour. Really? It seemed to me like the acceptance stage came too soon. There are 5 stages of grief. Everybody passes through these 5 stages when you lose somebody you love, somebody that was dear to your heart. Except, of course, the person was never dear to your heart. The 5 stages of grief, guys. Number 1, the very first stage is denial, shock, numbness, the inability to accept what really happened. When somebody dies suddenly, the family, the loved ones, the friends, they are in shock. The first thing they say is, no, man, she was just all right. Even when the person got a medical condition, like, you're going through, the thought is, oh my God, it can't be happening. No, there must be a mistake. No, something must have gone wrong. No, it's possible that she will come back. Wait, let's see what she can do. Even if it is somebody who has had seizures in the past, the fact that she has been recovering from those seizures, you will refuse to accept that this particular seizure has taken her life. You will fight it internally. Your mind will fight to accept the reality. You will be in shock. But guess what? Pastor Samuel Jackson was fast to take to the internet. He didn't go through the denial stage. Number 2, anger. Pastor Samuel Jackson would have been angry. This anger most times is directed at others or even directed at self. The second stage of grief, anger. He would have been angry at himself for keeping her in Liberia. We would have heard him say things like, I wish we didn't stay in Liberia so often. I wish we traveled to the US every 3 months to have a regular checkup. I wish I had a physician who, you would be angry at the fact that you may have made a mistake that led to her death. Not because you killed her, but you will feel like, if I had done this, maybe she wouldn't have died. If I had done this, maybe she wouldn't have died. Oh, I wish we went to the States last week, or we went to the States last month. This would not have happened to her. We did not see him express anger. For a man who knows that his wife had a medical condition, but you kept her in Liberia. When was the last time you went to the US? When was the last time? Because for other people living in Liberia who are US citizens, you can say, oh, you only go once a year for your physical. But for you who got medical condition, you cannot be going once a year. You should be in the US regularly. Number 3, the bargaining stage. This is where you're almost starting to accept and say, maybe it was because she missed that medication. Maybe it was because, oh, I see. Maybe it was this. Maybe it was this. I wish I got to the hospital earlier. I wish I did this. I wish I did this. You are bargaining. You are trying to internalize what happened. But no. Samuel Jackson also skipped this stage. The 4th stage of grief is depression, isolation, the feeling of loss, withdrawal, sadness, crying. You start to really miss the person. You start to calculate the fact that, oh, for real, she's not going to be here anymore. I'm going to be sleeping in my bed alone. I'm not going to have anybody to laugh with, nobody to eat with. Now, these stages do not just happen within hours. For some people, it takes days. Depending on the level of love, or depending on the magnitude of love you had for your partner. I know a person who was in this stage for about 2 years. Yes. And then the final stage, the last and the final stage of grief is acceptance. Well, it has happened. It has happened. There is nothing I can do anymore. This is where you tell yourself, well, it has happened. But I will keep the memory of her dear in my heart. The final stage. But obviously, Pat Jackson is telling this guy in the video that I just played that.
And you said to me, look, Mark, I'm done with this thing because the first 1 hour is when I really grieve, but I'm a Marine. I'm done with it. I don't regret anything.
Pat Jackson is saying he only felt the impact of his beloved wife's death for 1 hour. The hour in which he was informed. This shows that this man never loved this girl. I'm not accusing him of murder. I leave that to the police to do their job. But he never loved this girl. I can only ask myself, what did this girl see that made her sit with this man? What did he get her to eat? What did she see for her to sit down with him? What? Eya! 1 hour. You grieved a wife of 7 years in 1 hour, and according to him, he was done with it. Pa Samuel Jackson was done with it after the first hour. Wow. Now let's go back to what happened at the hospital. What happened at Catholic Hospital? So the seizure started about 2 in the afternoon. And Pa Samuel Jackson never took his wife to the hospital up until 10 p.m. 8 hours of no activity. Not because he didn't have a car. He has a car. Not because they don't have a transportation business. They have a transportation business. But according to him, he was waiting for the ambulance. In a country like Liberia, where we don't have ambulances, he was waiting for the ambulance. That part is laughable. And then he takes her to the hospital at 10 p.m. May I inform you guys that this guy did not stay at the hospital. He left his wife there, went on a podcast, did his thing, went home, and did not go back to the hospital. He was called from the hospital. He was called from the hospital the next morning that his wife is dead. Now my question is, why did he make this post saying, I said my final goodbyes? Dude, you never had the opportunity to say goodbye to her. And it's okay. I mean, this is normal. She's sick, she's sick. You got businesses to conduct. So you take her to the hospital and you go about your business. Nobody's asking you to have stayed beside her until she took her last breath, because we all were not expecting her to take her last breath. So you left her in the care of professionals and you went to do your thing. That's your thing. Political analysis is your thing. But they called you in the morning to let you know that she was dead. And you ran there. You met her. When you left her, she was still breathing. She died when you left. Why did you make the public think that you said final goodbyes to her? Why did you think the public had this moment of, take care of my mom, take care of my sister? No, y'all never had it. You left. You want to do your thing. She died. They called you in the morning that she was dead and gone. But then you make a post to social media and make it look like y'all had this final goodbye kind of thing. I promise to love you forever. I will do this. Y'all didn't have that conversation. Y'all didn't have it. Y'all didn't do that. And it's the too many lies. It's the too many lies that makes these things suspicious, because nobody ever really thought that you don't love your wife. We saw how you doted on her publicly, even though what we are seeing now tells us that it was a different reality behind the scene. We saw how you doted on her in the public eye on social media. So nobody was even thinking that you would have done anything to her. Why are you lying? The fact that you're lying with your narratives just shows that you're trying to hide something. What are you trying to hide, Pa Jackson? We will ask the police to look into what you're trying to hide. They already started. Shout out to the police. This is human life. And if you did have a hand in her death, you should not be allowed to walk free, because people like you do not have remorse for doing bad, even when you are pardoned. Because if you were to have remorse for doing bad, 41 years was a long time for you to repent from your killing behavior. But no, 41 years later, you still glory in the fact that you killed somebody. So let's go back to Toni Khumalo Jackson. Her tragic death, her suspicious death, her death with all of the unclear details surrounding it. Wow, I never thought this could happen to a man like Samuel Jackson, only because he could not contain his emotions. He was not at the hospital when she died. She did not die in his arms. When he left the hospital, she was still breathing. He did not bid her final goodbye, as he claims on social media. And that's the scary part. They attempt to alter reality. They attempt to alter the facts. They attempt to tell the public a different version of what really happened. They attempt to re-narrate that is what is raising suspicion. I'll keep you guys posted. Please share the video.